Welcome to the Ben Wood Johnson podcast. You can visit Dr. Johnson's blog at benwoodpost.com. Dr. Johnson's works can be found at drbenwoodjohnson.com. You can also support Dr. Johnson on Patreon, the link to which is in the description. Hello, everybody. A warm welcome to you all. Today is January 6, 2020. It is a new year. It is a new season. This is podcast number 39. For what it's worth, I wish you all the best. I wish all your dreams come true this year. It is a wonderful year, 2020. For those of us who were around in 2002, this is the opportunity to live the reverse of that year. So, there's a lot of significance, at least from a mystical, if you will, standpoint as far as 2020 is concerned. Today we're going to be talking about the concept of evil. What is evil? When folks talk about getting rid of evil, or this person is evil, there are certain connotations, at least understandings to that notion. So today we're going to delve into this concept and try to make sense of what it means to be evil, or what it means to be righteous. So without further ado, let us delve right into it. Here's a cliche. We're going to wipe out evil off this earth, or we're going to get rid of evil on the face of this earth. Have you ever heard that term? Have you ever heard people say something like that? If you have, what was your reaction? Now, think about it for a second. Do you believe this is something that human beings could do? Do you believe that we, as single entities within this planet, get rid of evil? What is evil to begin with? What do you mean when you say evil? What is that? What do we mean by this guy's evil? This woman is evil. We have to eliminate evil on this earth. What do we mean when we say that? Or what do people mean when they say that? You would find it interesting that most of the time we have absolutely no clue as to what we're talking about or what they're talking about. People don't know what they're talking about when they say evil. Now, the concept of evil has a biblical connotation to it. Because when we say evil, the assumption, or at least the presumption, is that there's something good in comparison to that evil. It's this idea that there's good and bad. Okay? There's demonic, there's angelic. Okay? There are two sides. It's either or. Right? And people were sort of taught to think that way. And our entire civilization is based on that notion that there are two sides. It's one or the other. It's either you are this or you are that. Now, if you've listened to my other podcast, you should by now have a sense as to where I stand on this. The concept of evil to me is a fallacy. Our entire civilization is based on a fallacy, on a lie. And we have grown accustomed to believe in this lie, and we repeat it. It becomes a lie at perpetuity, where we keep lying to ourselves, we keep lying to our children, and when they grow up, they lie to themselves, they lie to their children, and the cycle repeats itself. And we live in this world of chaos, dishonesty, flaws. Now, are we aware that we are lying to ourselves? Now, this is a question that I couldn't answer. I could not answer that question for anybody else other than for myself. And that's why I prefer not to make a delineation between evil and good. That's why I prefer not to see the world from these two paradigms, either or. I don't see the world in the absolute, because to me it's dangerous. Because what happened is that when you look at your world, either or, you are prone to do things that you would not have done. You are prone to accept things you would not have accepted otherwise. Now here's the reality, at least the way I see it. The world is not either or. The world is not angels versus demons, if you will. The world is not right versus wrong. The world is just the world. The world is filled with things that we do not, could not, and would never understand or comprehend so long as we look at the world from our little corner of understanding, for our little prism, okay? We have to broaden our minds. We have to broaden our understanding, our scopes, our range, and everything, so we understand the world for what it is. Of course, we could spend a long time talking about what is right, what is wrong. And I think in the next podcast, I will be talking about the concept of doing the right thing. But for today, let us stay and reflect on the notion of evil. What does the concept itself mean in practice? Well, what it means is that there are entities, people, most of the time, that are out to get you. And you have a responsibility to fight back. Okay, that's what it means. When somebody says this guy's evil, or this person is evil, or this woman is evil, the underlying understanding here is that that person is out to get you. Therefore, you have to get him or her first. Okay. Now the question becomes, if somebody were to be out to get you, why would that be? Now, of course, going back to another presumption, is that you are good. You are righteous at your core, or in your core. That is, you are so righteous, you are so good, the evil entity, or the evil guy, wants to get you. Now here's where this logic falls flat. If we were to agree that the world is not black or white, if we were to agree that the world is not either or, we would certainly come to the understanding that the entity or the entity that is evil could also be angelic. The person whom you might consider evil might also be considered righteous. Depending on the context, you're looking at the person. Depending on the situation that you are evaluating that person or that entity. And let me give you an example. Suppose John is viewed by his neighbors as evil. You ask the neighbors, why do you think John is evil? And say, well, John is a bad person. And the next question is, well, what has he done? Why is he a bad person? Of course, you might have answers where people would say, well, John is a jerk. John has done this to me at some point. John has done that to me at some point. Right? And people would have a list of claims or grievances against John. And on the basis of those grievances, John is evil. And some might even say John must be locked up somewhere. John must be eliminated, get rid, or at least kicked out of the neighborhood or something like that. Okay? The same John, who happens to be a father of four, for his family, or perhaps his friends, John is a different person. They might think John is righteous. John might work and put food on the table for his family. John might be the kind of guy who takes care of his friend when they need help. John might be the kind of guy who sort of gets out of his way to help anybody. So regardless of what the neighbors feel about John, there's another side to John. And that side, people think John is righteous. John is a good person. So who's right? Are the neighbors right? Are the people who know John the best right? Well, I don't know how to answer this question. So you see, John cannot be evil and at the same time being righteous, if we're going to go by the logic that the world is either or. So in that example, while you may see John as evil, somebody else may see him as righteous. And if you were to go out and do something to John, the person who considered him righteous would see you as evil. So now you come to your senses. So who is evil, really? And the answer is nobody's evil. There's no such a thing as being evil or being righteous. The concept itself is a fallacy. We are people. We have our flaws, we have our good nature. We do good things, we do bad things depending on whom or where we do them, or to whom or where we do them. And those who see our good sides are probably going to see us as righteous people. And those who happen to meet our bad sides are going to see us as perhaps evil. But that does not necessarily mean that we are absolutely evil or absolutely righteous. And I think it is important as we continue as we continue this journey on this planet, that we understand that there are certain fallacies about this world we should not or shall not repeat. We shall not buy into those fallacies, because those fallacies are going to make us do the deeds we would not have done otherwise. There's no such thing as purging the world of evil. There's no such thing as chasing evil. There's no such thing as removing evil on the face of this earth, if not to do evil to get rid of evil. The only way, if evil there is, we could get rid of evil is by being evil. Is this something you want to do? Do you want to be evil? Then make it your duty to get rid of evil, and you will be